also want to take this opportunity to speak on the resolution you have passed regarding the condemnation redevelopment zone. I spoke at the planning board meeting last week. I would like to repeat here that no government should have the power to take private property, be it a home or a business, in order to give that private property to a private interest for profit. That is not the proper role of government. The public use of private property was always limited to building something that would be a common asset for the common good. We've now moved away from that and giving private property so someone else may profit from it, and maybe we generate taxes from that increased price. It should not be. So please reconsider the resolution that you have passed, declaring a condemnation redevelopment zone. You have the power to do so. You would take this threat away from the citizens that are affected by it. And please consider, just by being in that redevelopment zone, those fellow Leonians now have the threat of eminent domain over their properties, which has an immediate impact on their property value. Because who would buy their property if the town could come in and take away the home from a new buyer?
Thank you, Mr. Warren. Yeah. Any other member of the public wish to speak? Yes, ma'am.
I'm not going to sit. I'm going to stand. Lydia Maurice, M-A-U-R-I-C-E.
Thank you.
392 Grand. 70-year-old woman here, right here. Look at me. Here I am. Disability, I've lived with all my life. What are you doing to me? Why are you trying to take my home away? What's going on? Why? Just answer me why. Why do you want to take my home away? I'm waiting.
It's the
Okay.
public portion, ma'am.
I know.
I'm happy to answer you, but I don't want to take your 2
I know.
minutes.
Okay, so that being said, number one, I'm going to fight to the very end for my home. I don't care about everybody else. My home. I'm next. I'm going to fight with Mr. Tedesco, mentioning your names. Mention to the, let's see, the councilman. Okay. I'm going to speak to everybody I know, meaning senators, congressmen, mentioning your names. And I also have friends in Washington, D.C. They're not just friends, they're in the government. I'm going to mention you to them. Because this is not right. You can't take, well, you think you can, but I'm not going to let you. I will fight to the very end. I may have a heart attack, but it'll be on you guys. And you know what? I'm going to, how close am I?
You've got a few seconds left.
Okay, this is for you young ladies. You ain't woman enough to take my home. And this is for you guys. You ain't man enough to take my home.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for your time.
Does any other member of the public wish to speak?
Go for it.
Mr. Witter, you've already spoken.
My name is Polina Polanska, Polya, NSKAYA, 392 Grand Avenue. So I've been in Leonia for 10 years now. I have 3 young children here, very involved in the community. Son almost broke the record here for counties for swimming. So we're very involved. I'm a class parent. And I gotta tell you, I was very appalled by the letter and the fact that you have 2 versions of the letter. I'd like to understand why our properties were in the condemnation zone, why our properties are being threatened by eminent domain. Eminent domain is for public use only, yet you claim that there is no plan for the area. However, a 2016 article does state that you want to do retail, you want to do senior citizens, housing, whatever it may be. This is not public use. This is abuse of eminent domain. Many council members and the mayor keep insisting that they do not plan on using eminent domain. So why won't you rescind the resolution 2018-200? Receiving these letters and the study seem to be in bad faith, and it is very unfortunate to think that our town, which is a very tight-knit community, would even consider this. What would you do if you were in my position? How would you feel if you received this letter? Would you be happy? Would you say, oh, you know, it's a requirement, language requirement of the letter? It is not. An ordinance which you may propose can be repealed at any time, and it does not provide us with confidence or protection that eminent domain will not be used in the future. If you say you're not for eminent domain, I would like for you to rescind this resolution altogether. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Any other member of the public wish to speak? No. End of the meeting, Mr. Ritter. Mr. Ritter, excuse me. I'm the presiding officer. Yes, I can. Does any other member of the public wish to speak? If not, yes.
My name's Ann Lenny. I live at 121 Wood Terrace.
I'm sorry, your last
Ann
name.
Lenny.
Thank you.
121 Wood Terrace. And I know that the Supreme Court has made decisions that many of us disagree with in recent years. And the eminent domain decision was one of those. But I think the people of Leonia are better than that. I don't think we want to have a community where some people, because legally they can do it now, can go in and take other people's property because a small group or even a majority thinks it is good for the economics of the society, the community. So I think we really want to reconsider this and act as a community that cares about each individual in the community. And as we know, owning property is one of our fundamental rights that nobody should ever take from anyone else. It's inalienable. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Any other member of the public wish to speak? If not, the public portion is closed. Yes, ma'am. No, of course.
Hurt my back. Uzma Abbas, 392 Grand Avenue, number 9.
Could you spell your last name? I'm sorry.
It's okay. ABBASS.
Thank you.
Before anything, can I have someone make a motion to rescind revised amendment excluding the use of eminent domain?
That's not appropriate during the public portion to entertain motions, but thank you for asking the question. It's just not the way a meeting is run. We can't entertain motions during the public portion.
My family's been living in Leonia for over 23 years. We have raised, I'm sorry, I wrote down everything.
No, of course, don't be silly.
Very
You
emotional.
don't have to apologize. Don't be ridiculous.
My family's been living in Leonia for over 23 years. We have raised our son here, established close friendships, and are invested in the history of this town. Sadly, now we feel that the borough wants to displace us in an effort to secure greater revenue. Recently, I learned a new word, one that has come to define our home and the life we have built in Leonia. That word is rateables. Basically, as homeowners, we are being told that anyone's home, small business, or established life here in Leonia can be replaced by someone who represents greater tax revenue. My family, like so many others here in Leonia, take pride in our home. Our residents, we are constantly renovating a place where we have always felt safe. That is until January 15, 2019, when we received a letter from the very officials, you guys, we helped to elect, telling us that our home is no longer our home. Rather, it has become a negotiable entity. My first thoughts were, how can this be happening here in a safe community of Leonia? We have always left our doors open during the day, sometimes even at night. My son sometimes forgets to lock the door. but I have never felt so unsafe as I do now. And I'm sure everyone here feels exactly the same way. And I'm sorry. Our homes are not where it should be condemned or even considered. And this is not just a study. If it was just a study, then you would take out those words. Those words do not need to be in there. It's time to ask ourselves, how can we plan a future in a town where our elected officials and a designated developer can take away everything we have worked so hard to build without a thought to the effect it will have on some families? If something like this can happen in the close-knit community of Leonia, then no one is safe anywhere. What you are proposing in this study is not only wrong for those of us directly affected, but it is also wrong for the future of Leonia. Our homes and businesses should be recognized as part of the future of Leonia, not discarded for the purpose of creating something new and more aesthetically attractive. As a united community, we must unequivocally oppose eminent domain in Leonia and request that you rescind Resolution 2018-200 in the so-called condemnation redevelopment area. It is important to remember that we are not parcels, blocks, nor lots. We are Leonians, past, present, and future. Several council members and the mayor have publicly stated that they do not intend to use eminent domain as a part of the redevelopment plans. If you truly do not intend to use eminent domain, you should move to rescind Resolution 2018-200, which authorized the condemnation development area study. It is the basic thing we're asking. Just remove that. You said in an interview that, or I don't remember, listserv, that you want to use it as a tool. In my toolbox, I have a crimper because I need that in what I do. Does anyone here have a crimper in their toolbox? They don't, because they won't be using it. If you do the study, you plan on using it. There is no transparency except that. Thank you very much for your time.
Any other member of the public wish to speak? Yes, sir, in the back.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I request a 1-minute notification on 5 minutes. I'm a non-resident. My name is Vincent Lepore, L-E-P-O-R-E, 33 Ocean Terrace, Long Branch, New Jersey. We attracted to Leonia like a magnet. We have a network out there throughout the tri-state area on the matter of eminent domain and redevelopment zones. I noticed in your closed session after the public portion, you're going to be discussing the Institute of Justice and the letter from them and the response. We had many redevelopment zones in Long Branch. The Institute for Justice came into the Beachfront North redevelopment zone. They defended 33 homeowners called MTOTSA, M-T-O-T-S-A. They took it to the appellate division. The end result, the homeowners that decided they wanted to keep their homes were allowed to. Beyond that, the taxpayers of Long Branch got hit with $435,000 in legal bills. Independent of that Beachfront North redevelopment zones, there were other redevelopment zones where private law firms came in. They defended the property rights of homeowners. They banged the taxpayers in Long Branch for several $1 million. It gets costly, very costly. The recent court decisions, mostly succeeding from Kelo in the United States Supreme Court, which was reversed everywhere else, it trends towards the protection of the property owner. My concern right now is, and I saw your discussion about the phrase pulling out the eminent domain. Why didn't the borough do a study of the rehabilitation zone where no condemnation eminent domain is permitted rather than going the avenue of a redevelopment zone. The governing body can make a request now to the planning board to redo a study for this particular area, to study it as a rehabilitation area. And with that rehabilitation area, there is no condemnation eminent domain. In addition to that, you fellows are pretty savvy, and ladies. The municipal land use laws, you can affect a lot with zoning under the regular municipal land use laws without going in the direction of redevelopment zones or rehabilitation zones. So I thought I'd come here this evening and let you know we've given you some substantive ideas to think about. And to the property owners fighting for their homes, we have a network out there watching this. And we would like to see the mayor and the council take the high road on this. We have a mayor, a former Mayor Schneider, that became the national poster of eminent domain abuse. He just recently suffered a profound defeat upon which he is politically dead forever. And we don't want to see this in Leonia. All right? You appear to have careers. You appear to have the best interests of your municipality. We would like to see the network that I'm affiliated with to take the high road. Thank you. That's all I have to say.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Any other member of the public wish to speak? Yes, sir.
My name is Carl Lacadlali, K-A-R-L. Last name is L-A-C-A-N-L-A-L-E. Address is 140 Shore Avenue. I'm in the redevelopment zone for condemnation. I've spoken with you, Mayor Ziegler, personally last week, and I appreciate that. And I've also responded to the Leonia Talks listserv several times and shared my thoughts. I think there's been a lot of talk about transparency, and we appreciate the talk, but we're still left asking, really, what was the purpose of two different studies, one for condemnation and one for non-condemnation? And it really contradicts the council members' just saying to the public that they don't support condemnation or taking anybody's private properties. We'd like to see action, I guess, to back this up. If really you aren't serious about using eminent domain as a means to seize property, then why go through this whole process? Those are the questions that we're asking. We're not opposed to any study at all for redevelopment, but please just take out the condemnation designation. That's what we asked for. And I guess just a side comment on the resurfacing. I worked as a civil engineer for a long time in New York City. Anytime that after a street cut or after resurfacing, that street's designated as a protected street for a year and a half to 2 years. If a utility company needs to go in there and do any trench work or anything like that, usually what's required is curb-to-curb resurfacing, or at least half the roadway. So I'd
That's exactly
also
what's required here.
Okay, and then also maybe 12-inch cutbacks on the trench to prevent the sinking. So.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Any other member of the public wish to speak? Yes, sir. Ma'am, I will give you another opportunity.
My name is Mohammed Abbas, 392 Grand Avenue. I have a question. When you see vacant places, are you scared? How you relate with the study? I just
Not sure it's this is for you to share your comments. I don't, if the councilman wishes to respond, she can.
Because you said that.
When you see vacant lots, are you scared, is I think what you're asking, sir.
Because you said that you want to study.
But I don't like having children.
I'm just making this statement, I don't know how you relate with the study because you saw some vacant places.
No?
I'm not,
All right, thank you.
thank you. Any other member of the public wish to speak? Yes, in the back. I've got two timers going. That's helpful. Already another timer.
Hi, my name is Monica Garcia. I live at 392 Grand Avenue.
I'm going to help the clerk here. Could you spell your last name for us, please?
Garcia, G-A-R-C-I-A.
Oh, Garcia, sorry, I
That one
didn't hear
have.
you. Okay.
You got it,
Oh,
thank
there we
you.
go.
Just your address again,
392 Grand Avenue. I'm one of the owners that is being affected by this eminent domain threat. A lot has been said tonight, and I wasn't even going to come up and speak, but I'm going to tell you, I feel that everybody has given their thoughts and ideas, and this gentleman was so eloquent. He gave you so much to think about. And I really feel that you guys have to put it to thought and really take this eminent domain threat away, because a lot of the homeowners here, I've been here 19 years, I love Leonia, I raised my daughter here, and we take pride, not only as homeowners, but as Leonians, because this is a pretty safe town. It has a, you know, I could rave about this town so much, and I know a lot of other people can. And we really felt safe until this moment. And I understand your concern, but one lot that is vacant, and it's been vacant for 15 years, they should have done something about that lot a long time ago. And our homes are not vacant, and they are not in shame. We have beautiful homes. We take pride in our homes. I wish you would go and just check it out. They're really in very good condition. We take pride in our homes, and we've been there for a long time. And we don't cause problems. So really, I just urge you to think about us as human beings and what we're going through. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other member of the public wish to speak? Yes, ma'am. Oh, I'm sorry.
Karen Hannon, 392 Grand Avenue. My home's not for sale. I don't know if anybody noticed, but yesterday on Grand Avenue and Fort Lee Road, we were out protesting. That is going to continue until you guys rescind and revoke this. I'm not a rebel, but I'm not walking away from my home. And how dare every one of you think that you can put this pressure on us? You ought to be ashamed of yourself. It is morally irreprehensible what each and every one of you are doing. You brought up Greg, I'm sorry, and it was an effort to bring attention to it. It was lame. And when you spoke, I mean, does nobody really care that these are families and homes?
Ma'am?
Yes,
Could you
Mr.
address the
Judith.
comments to me, please? Thank you.
Okay, to you.
I'm
Do
the
you
chair.
not- Yes,
That's why I'm
okay,
asking.
sure, no problem. It's like, these are families and homes. Where is your, like, if you received this letter, I mean, you would pull out all the stops to stop this, and that's what's going to happen. We are not going away, and we are going to be in your face every other weekend with this. Every weekend, not every other weekend. It's a shame. It's putting a lot of pressure, and we have to work for a living. But you know what? I don't scare easy. And what you ought to be ashamed of what you're doing. Every one of you. It's disgusting. That's all I have to say. Thank you for your time.
Any other member of the public wish to speak? Ma'am?
Maurice, M-A-U-R-I-C-E again. I've been in this town for over 40 years, rented, and now I'm a homeowner. Love the town. Great town. Always has been. Still is pretty much so. I would have no place to live if my home was taken. I have no place. Senior citizen can't surrender. Can't go get a mortgage. But anyway, that's beside the point. I can't speak for everybody. I speak for myself. If there is anything that you and your team can do for me? Rather than take away my home, I would do anything. If you want me to fix this or fix that, I don't know what would need to be fixed, but if you call a shot, listen, Lydia Maurice, I don't like the flowers in front of your house. Well, whatever, I'm just using that as
I
an
understand.
example. Okay, so just
I understand.
bear with me. I would do that in a heartbeat. I would go to the bank and try and get a second mortgage to save my home. Only thing you have to do is tell me, hey, you fix this and do that. Not that I know anything, but it just, I'm willing to work with you. Any way, shape, form, or fashion, as long as you don't take my home, because I have no place to go. I may have to bring my box and sleep on your lawn. What am I gonna do? Can't get a mortgage. But anyway, I am willing. She's putting it down in writing. You go, girl. She's putting it down that I am willing to do anything possible for you to ascend this horrible situation. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you all for your time.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Other members of the public? Mr. Zaya. No, good, your hand was up, so.
I'm gonna finish my speech, my friend. 5 minutes, but I won't take 5. I have 2 comments, really. One, regarding the municipal complex, don't underbuild it. That's, you're looking to save, you want to save money, you want to build it right, but you will regret underbuilding it. Make sure it meets the needs now and in the future, and I would build it again, as I said, mentioned previously, build it to the LEED standard, and I mentioned, I build it to a LEED platinum standard. This is Leonia, we're a green community, we're environmentalists. If you do anything less than that, you're doing a disservice to the borough. I support the building, but do it right. Secondly, I'm glad to see that on the 18th you're going to be busy and you'll be addressing the Snow Street ordinance.
Actually, that was, put that on to April.
Oh, you moved the table? Well, I'm glad you're going to address it, because it's too late anyhow to really, there's no urgency for now, it's for the next season. But make sure you write the ordinance properly. This was done hastily. I've been complaining about it for 4 years since you added all the streets. You need to do it in conjunction, again, with the alternate side. With all due respect to the prior councilman who complained about it, who was saying that I was mistaken. If you go to alternate side, one side only, the fire trucks, the garbage trucks, and anything else can get by as long as it's one side only, so there won't be that problem. But also, words in law matter. The words in this ordinance, as it was written, was poorly written, and you're not conducting the exercise in accordance with the words of the ordinance. So please make sure you do it really carefully this time, since you're going to take the time to review it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zaya.
I yield my remaining time.
Any other member of the public wish to speak? Yes, sir.
How's everyone doing today? My name is Ronald Guzman. I live in 247 Hillside Avenue. Actually, this house is not, the demand does not concern me, but as a person that lives in the community, went to all 3 high schools in Leonia, played for the high school team, varsity, middle school, AYSO, LSA. I actually lived in the community, and to hear this, that you're taking homes from people, this is upsetting. It's really, as a kid, I'm 22 years old, I'm coming into the law, to town hall to tell you, you're taking homes from parents that are raising kids like me who live in the community, to help live, I ref the community, can do help after service in the high school. I was a peer leadership in the lead varsity in the high school, captain of varsity, captain of the soccer team, captain of Leonia Middle School soccer team. I lived in the community. You're taking home from kids like me that go to scholarships, win scholarship. I got a scholarship at sports booth. Thank you very much. You know, you're not just hurting adults, you're hurting kids as well. I heard you said you were scared walking in the streets. I'm also scared walking in the streets. You know, it's just there's vacant units everywhere. That vacant unit in this corner has been there since I've been here. It was here since I was 4 years old. I'm 22. Now I'm 16 years old. That unit has been there. Nothing has been done. Now you guys want to do something? But you're doing it at a force that's not right. I feel you should really take into consideration to reconsider this motion. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I'm just going to close the public portion for a moment procedurally. Public portion is closed. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to extend the meeting of mayor and council until 10:30. Is there a motion?
So moved.
By Councilman Macarlaka, second.
Second.
By Councilwoman Flame. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, at this time, I will reopen the public portion. Does any other member of the public wish to speak?
Yes.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you, Alex.
Marco Castellon, 144 Short Avenue. I've been living in Leonia for 19 years. I raised 2 daughters in this town. My 2 daughters, they went to school in this town. They went to college out of high school from here. And one is away in college. She doesn't know that I get that letter. She wants to come back home after college, live in the house with mom and dad. And maybe she's not going to be able, because you guys don't see families, don't see stories, don't see lives. You just see dollars. And you guys, what you matter to you is dollar. To me, it's my family. They have to move away, so you can get more money. But I've been living in this town for 19 years. I've given a lot to this town. My first daughter, it was, an honor roll. She plays on the band for 4 years. My youngest daughter, #1 in swimming team, high school records. But you guys see money, only money. You don't see stories, you don't see family. I think about that. Think about the money you're gonna get. I paid a lot of money to live in this town, almost $180,000 over 19 years. But you see dollars, and you want more dollars. Why you don't make a study on Park Avenue? On you.
Any other member of the public wish to speak? If not, the public portion is closed.